To say the Overwatch 2 launch has gone poorly would be wearing the rosest of color glasses on the planet. The DDoSing, the backlash to requiring smartphones, cell phones, by the way, phones that aren't pay as you go or prepay phones, which are millions of people in America. Prepaid phones are totally fine. Many of them smartphones, just like anything else. But oftentimes they're used by people who have credit challenges. Maybe they're rebuilding their credit, or maybe they got out of a bad relationship and they destroyed their credit. It happens all the time in divorces. Maybe they're just bad at paying their bills. But none of that should have anything to do with one's ability to play a free video game online. But of course, that's the boat that Blizzard, I was thinking of Wizards of the Coast. Blizzard wants to put their customers in. Then on top of a nonstop DDoS attack, which may be related, maybe some sort of pushback here that they don't like that feature. I'm going to get into all the latest mess and backlash after a quick word from this video sponsor, Meta PCs. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Meta PCs. Look, you've been around, you know that I've been talking about Meta PCs for a very long time. In fact, it's the primary computer I use. But it's not just because they're a sponsor. It's for so many more reasons. They have fully customizable, configurable PCs and all the hardest to find parts in stock and ready to go. They also have ready to ship PCs ready for you today. Here's a couple reasons why I like Meta PCs. First and foremost, it's veteran ownership. Meta PCs is a veteran-owned business. One of Meta's owners has served both in Afghanistan and Iraq and received a Purple Heart for his service. Meta also employs military veterans in Meta's operations center and also provides systems to veterans going back to school to help them re-enter the workforce all across the United States. They offer financing. It has 100% US-based sales and support. And when you receive your PC, it's ready to go right out of the box. So you don't have to get complicated and set things up. You just plug it all in and you're ready to rock. And on top of that, Meta PCs is offering you, my viewer, a huge discount when you use the link in the description or you use promo code TheQuartering. If you use my code at checkout, not only do you save money, but you support my content and a company that will not bow to cancel culture. So maybe you're not ready to pick up a new computer today, but when you are, remember to go to metapcs.com and use promo code TheQuartering to support me and to save money. And everybody wins. Now, Overwatch 2's phone requirement, quote, it's like being punished for being poor. Certainly, I don't necessarily think it's necessarily only people who are poor, but people, again, could be going through credit challenges. Maybe, I know this is shocking, maybe they don't want to sign up to a freaking multi-year contract with some company that they may or may not like their service. There are plenty of people that use pay-as-you-go phones that aren't poor, but nonetheless, there are plenty that are. Or struggling. I don't want to say poor, but whatever. Feels like being punished for being poor, Overwatch player Richard Munster told Kotaku over email. Along with 19 million other people, Richard and his brother both use Cricket Wireless, one of the prepaid phone services that Overwatch 2 will not accept for its newly instated mandatory two-factor authentication system, SMS Protect. Why won't they protect pay-as-you-go phones? Why won't they accept them? I suspect the reasons are that it makes it too easy for people they've banned to get new numbers repeatedly. I don't know. I've had to change my number before it gets leaked. It's really never been a problem for me to just call Verizon and be like, I need to change my number, but whatever. Every single Overwatch 2 players, including those who had previously purchased Overwatch, must provide a phone number that fits certain requirements in order to start the game. As part of those requirements, numbers cannot be attached to a prepaid phone plan, a landline, or use voice over IP. Though what remains of Blizzard's heart seems to be in the right place, the developer hopes the requirements will cut down on both cheating and disruptive behavior. Players like Richard are forgotten, not because they don't play well or don't care or don't want to have fun, but because they can't afford the right kind of phone. Or I should say, as I say, or they choose to not use that type of phone. Prepaid phone plans like Cricket and Mint Mobile allow people to pay the cost of their usage up front. Though unfairly maligned as Breaking Bad type burner phones, prepaid phones are easier to incorporate into low-income budgets, with monthly costs usually between $15 and $50. Some companies like AT&T even advertise prepaid services directly to low-income customers. Richard, a college student, uses Cricket's $50 monthly plan because you can't pay it that month. They just shut down the phone instead of taking you to collections. Very reasonable. If I get a regular phone plan and can't play, my credit score gets destroyed, he said. At one point in 2020, there were 74 million prepaid phone plan users in the United States alone. Richard is far from the only Overwatch player being phased out. I'm ashamed of having a prepaid phone, one Reddit user said, who posted in our Overwatch and received 1,000 upvotes in less than 24 hours. Never thought I would be disqualified from playing Overwatch based on my ability to afford a phone contract. But here we are. Blizzard is the first company to make me feel too poor to even play a game. And that sucks. Look, people work hard. And again, I'm also going to say, of the 20 million or 30 million people that have them, there are plenty of people, like I said, who prefer to have a prepaid phone plan because they don't like to stay on a contract. There's a lot of people like that. And also there's a lot of college kids. Oh, no, by the way, you don't need a cell phone to live. Blizzard's phone restrictions seem to primarily and widely impair U.S. prepaid phone plan users, and the company did not return Kotaku's request for comment. This is why the system isn't going to stop hackers or smurfs, one Reddit user wrote. They'll just use a virtual number service that Blizzard doesn't even know about. While Blizzard works it out, Richard and countless other low-income prepaid phone users are hurting. It feels like a large injustice, Richard said. Cheap postpaid plans are around $90. If you are a prepaid phone user who really wants to play Overwatch 2, you're looking at $50 more a month to get a Blizzard-approved phone. Talk about going free to play. Now, it's interesting, though, that this is it. You know, and maybe this is what's got them into the DDoS bonanza. Because even today, you still can't play it. If you've been having trouble getting into Overwatch 2 on launch, you're not alone. Blizzard President Mike Ibarra announced on Twitter that Overwatch 2 servers are currently undergoing mass distributed denial of service, or DDoS, which typically occurs when something is maliciously flooded with traffic to prevent others from connecting. This is likely the main culprit for the connection issues plaguing anyone who's trying to log in to the game. Overwatch 2 just launched today, and people have been reporting obscenely long wait times, with some sitting behind tens of thousands of players. There have been other launch issues such as missing cosmetics, missing match histories, and buggy cameras. Weird errors are normal for a massive live service game launch, but someone trying to inflict a cyber attack on Overwatch 2 is not quite so common. Well, look, it's sad that this article just forgives all of these other issues. Like, yeah, it happens. Because that's sad that we've just accepted that. You know what I mean? Like, it's super sad that we've just accepted that as, you know, games launch like crap. That's okay. It happens. You see this? Overwatch 2 launch marred by ongoing DDoS. And this is at 2 o'clock today. It's still going on. It's even players who managed to get into the servers had problems, including getting dropped from matches and other kinds of launch day instability that made playing challenging, if not impossible. Blizzard's Overwatch game director, Aaron Keller, issued his update on Twitter Wednesday, but things weren't looking much better. According to Keller, a second DDoS attack is in the works and servers still aren't available. We haven't played Overwatch sequel yet here at TechCrunch, but once issues get settled, we'll dive into it properly. I'm actually trying something different. Since I live out in the middle of nowhere, I use Starlink for internet, and it's actually been fine as a YouTuber because I'm able to compress my video files and upload them there. However, I'm going dual Starlink later today. I've got a second dish going up. I'm going to see how the online gaming for FPS experience is. The primary difference with Starlink is the latency, usually around 45 to 55 milliseconds, versus satellite, that's like 300 milliseconds. Satellite makes FPS games impossible to play online. But at 40 to 50, it might be okay. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. But, you know, it's difficult, you know, when you watch, you know, Blizzard continue to get in their own way. You know, I get it that people in general are pretty understanding. You see, we're steadily making progress on our server instability as well as working through the second DDoS attack. We're all hands on deck and we'll continue to work throughout the night. Thanks for your patience. We'll share more as it becomes available. And that's the last update that we've gotten. For people, you know, who are in there. I also would argue that as I downloaded the game the other day, certainly them pushing that $40 pack in front of my face nonstop was a little annoying. It's very, very tricky and scammy how they try to get you to buy that $40 game pack just to play the game. But I don't know. Are you able to get into the game so far? You know, what's interesting is most of the complaints that you're seeing aren't about gameplay. It's just about getting into the game. And for Blizzard, you know, it's pretty embarrassing that they can't get this together, given, you know, just how long they've been at this. You would think that they could very easily handle any kind of cyber attack, especially on launch. But, you know, it's Blizzard, and they're constantly making me disappointed. So it is what it is, I suppose. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do make sure you leave a like and you subscribe. Obviously, I cover video game news, but I also cover everyday news, tech news, YouTube news, all sorts of stuff like that in 5 to 7 videos a day. I'll talk to you again real soon.